Hello, welcome to our Wednesday webinar. Today you're going to see how to plan a small desk corner, like you see it here, with wall panels. And our project has 4 cabinets and we will plan it step by step. And first of all, we close here the data export and we zoom a bit out and we click on an eye and we turn off our room and turn on the whole project and we activate all the smart clicks. Yeah, you see that's our project and let's start a new file. And if there are any questions, just let me know in the chat. So we start a new project and we see here the default cabinet in the room. And our room has a width of 6,000 millimeter. So we click on the width of the room, type in 6,000, and the same with the depth of the right wall. It has 4,000 millimeter. So, and you see we have here like a cutout. So we need to go to the room and we need to define the cutout, and it has a width of 1,500 millimeters. The height is the same as the height of the room, and depth is 2,000 millimeter. And the distance to the left is 4,500 millimeter. We don't need to calculate cutouts or make a cover up. So we can take off the checkbox and if you see the room is not turned on, we can drag it and drop it on the wall where we want to have it. So I need to drag and drop the cutout. So yeah, you see here the 2D view. Later on, if we turn on the room, it also will become in 3D. So yeah, that is the first step, that we define a room. And now we need to place our first cabinet in the right position. And therefore we click here on a smart click for the cabinet and we change the distance to the back from 0 to 2,000, confirming it with enter, and the same with the distance to the right. We click on the smart click and change the distance left to 4,500, the same as the cutout, confirming it with enter, and you see here it's now on the right position. So, and then we can go to the cabinet tab and continue with our cabinet. And we don't want to have a back panel. So we go on the drop-down menu for the back and say no back. And we don't want to have any plinths. That's why we go beneath cabinet and we select no plinths. And you see our cabinet just has 4 parts and we need to set up the right dimensions. So the height is 800 millimeter and the width is 1,500 millimeter. And we don't want to have a right side and we don't want to have a bottom panel. That's why we go here on a smart click and we delete the side right and we delete the bottom panel. So if we go up, you see here we have a gap. Yeah, that is because our default cabinet is, the default setting is that the side is passing. So we need to click here on this smart click. Yeah, here it doesn't matter if we click here, here, or on this side. It's all guides to the same menu. So we click on here and we say horizontal passing. We do it here on the left and on the right. Yeah, for the bottom, it's okay. It should be like this. We go here also to the right and let the horizontal passing. So yeah, the depth is the same. Yeah, it's 600. We want to change the material. So we don't have here any division, interior or fronts. We just go to the material and we type in 25 millimeter and we activate all parts of the group and drag and drop the Agar H1145 on it. And yeah, now we are done with our first cabinet, which is the back, the desk. And now we come to the next cabinet. Therefore, we go back to the cabinet tab, go on the drop-down menu for the cabinet, and our next cabinet, because here we have a thickness of material of 25 millimeter, and it should be passed below here. That's why the height is not 800, it's 775. The depth is the same, and the width is 375. And the distance to the bottom is 0. The distance to the back is 2000 millimeter. And the distance to the left, we will measure. We keep it 0. And now we just drag it and drop it here on the middle wall. And then we have our second cabinet. And now we need to measure the distance. So that's why we zoom in here. Keep the control button pressed and go here on the corner. Click on it until it's green. Now we zoom out and zoom in here. And we keep the control button pressed again. And click on here, and then you see the distance is 5,625. So we go back to the smart click for the cabinet, go here distance left and type in 5,625, confirming it with enter. And now our second cabinet is in the right position. All right. So we do want to have a groove back. That's all right. Beneath cabinet, we want to have the cabinet beneath between the sides, not beneath the cabinet, between the side. That means the side is passing through the bottom. Yeah, like this. And here on the right side, we want to have a trim to the wall, and the width of it should be 19 millimeter. Yeah, you can also use 18 or 20 or 30, whatever you would like to have. So yeah, then we have this, and we don't have a division or interior, but we do have two front drawers, and that's why we go in the front tab, type in two, and add here two drawers, Movento. Now we keep the Movento and drag it and drop it in here. Yeah, we want to have an inlay. That's why we activate here the checkbox for inlay. So now we need to be careful because here we have two cabinets. Yeah, we need to be careful that we have here the right area. Yeah, if we go here, it can be like you see in the preview that it's selecting this area. So if we go here over the smart click, I zoom a bit in. Over the screen smart click here, you see we only the right area is selected. Yeah, that needs to be, we need to be careful of this. So if you want to change the handles, we go here on the drop-down menu for the handles and we say no handles. If you want to change the material, we go back to the material tab. I have 19 millimeter material and here you can choose your material and yeah, just drag it and drop it over the front. And now it's on the white color. All right, our second cabinet is well done. And now we continue with our wall panels. So therefore, we go back to the cabinet tab and we activate here the first cabinet. Yeah, we do it here on the top left corner. We select here cabinet 1 and we can copy this. Yeah, therefore, we click here on the smart click on the top, on the back, on the left side. Click on here and we copy the activated cabinet. So, yeah, we need to set the distance to 0. So, and I change here the width to make it more visible for you. You see here the row of folds. If we go here to interior and go to group of folds, then it disappears or it appears if you use adjustable shelves, but here we don't use them. Yeah. So yeah, here we want to let the side passing through top and bottom. Yeah, here we also need to click on the smart click and click on delete right sides, and the right side is coming back, and we click here on the smart click to set the side passing. And we click here again to delete the top panel because we don't want to have the top panel. So, and now we just have two sides. We go now to the division tab and here we want to add 36 verticals. Yeah, you can click on here or type in 36 and we just drag it and drop it in here. And you see that the top panel and the bottom panel is passing. That's why we do have here a gap. So, but we can change it. If you go here on the drop-down menu, we can say here vertical passing through top and also vertical passing through bottom. So, and we do want to have a back panel. So we go back to the cabinet and say we want to have a flat back. So, and you see we have here the depth of division That means the back panel is divided, yeah, on the first level. So our first level, our first depths of division are the verticals. And if we type in here 0, we just have one back panel. That's how we want to have it. Yeah. Our back panel has a width of 8. So, and our verticals has a width of 25. And if we want to have a square, then we need to change here the depth of the cabinet. We can use the equal sign and say 25 plus 8, and TrunCAD is calculating for us to 33. Yeah, and we can also measure the square. Yeah, we keep the control button pressed, click on here, and you see the X and the Y is 25 millimeter. We click OK, and we are well done with our third cabinet. And we can continue with the next one. Now we don't use the copy function, we just add a new cabinet. And before we do this, we need to change here the height from 800 to 1200 millimeter. And then we go to the cabinet tab on the drop-down menu for the cabinet, and the next cabinet should have a width of 1500 and a height of 500 millimeter, and the depth should be 350 millimeter. Distance left, bottom, and back is 0 because we drag it and drop it here on the smart click. And that is our wall mounted cabinet. Yeah, so that's why we don't need plinths. And we go on the drop down menu and select no plinths. And we go to the trim. We want to have a trim on the cabinet. And we want to have a trim on the right side. And the trim has a width of 19 or 25. Yeah, how you want. I set it to 25. And the top also to 25. So, and on the left side, we want to have a visible side. And the overlap to the top should be 0, not minus 19. It should be 0. So, and the overlap to the front, we set it to 0. So here we have a little gap that might be a little bug, but we can fix it ourselves. So we just go here on the cabinet and say overlap to left, 19 millimeter. Then it should be fixed by ourselves. Yeah, like you see here. All right, then this cabinet is in the right position. Yeah, if you want, you can here also add beneath the cabinet, trim, yeah, a plinth panel. If you want. Yeah. So, and now we go in the division tab, and here we want to have two verticals and two horizontals. We just drag it and drop it in here. So, I mean, one horizontal. Yeah, we can, if we go here on a divider, we can have some on every area, and should be, now it's related in relation 1 to 1. We want to have it related from top to bottom in relation 2 to 3. You can also use the copy paste function. Yeah, now it's related in relation 2 to 3. So if you go here on a smart click on the left side, you can click on here and click copy, and you can paste it on the middle area and also on the right area. Then it's a bit faster. And then we are almost done. But here we want to also have the relation of the front drawers in relation 2 to 3 to each other. On the top 2 and on the bottom 3. All right. And now we are pretty much done. We just add here inlay. Now we have here the checkbox activated. Here a left door, and on the top right corner a right door. So we want to deactivate the handles. So we click on the drop-down menu for the handles here on vertical. And now it's deactivated. And yeah, now our project is well done. We can now click here on I and deactivate all the smart clicks and measurements. If you want, we can activate the smart click. With the smart click, here's the room. And we go in the right position, and we can present it to our customer. And if we click here on the top right corner on data export, we also get our cutting list. Yeah, you can here select your layout. You can create your own layout. And yeah, now we are done. Thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to next week. So take care and goodbye.